Yes, so it did start off as broker and analytics, the challenge grows, but I think I'm a little bit more optimistic than that. I think data helps us solve business challenges if we look at it in the right way. So I don't think the challenge is growing. I think the challenge does grow if you're part of the broker network that's not using data. I've got a feeling the people in this room are. It's probably the people not in this room that are not using data, so probably preaching to the converted here. But we're also going to try to do it pretty practically. So we're going to look at it from two perspectives, as Greg mentioned. So Andrew talked about the fact that there's a lot of data available today, so I'm going to give you a little bit more. And I think the starting point, especially when you're out looking for customers, is that you can spend a lot of time and money trying to convince customers that don't resonate with the broker market to use you. That gets expensive, and it gets a long time to the conversion to the sale. So I'm going to share some data on who's resonating with the broker community now. If you can focus your time, effort, and dollars there, I think you're ahead of the game. I shared this last year, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because we actually pulled data from the last 6 months to see if it overlaps with this. So this was from a survey that we did to collect information on what different segments there are in the market and how they're buying. So we saw last year that I shared mostly predominantly male, 26 to 45 years old. They live in small cities, 1 or 2 cars, fairly high income. The one thing I wanted to point out here is 70% of them said low premium was important to them. That's actually the lowest. In terms of all of the segments we looked at, it averages at about 90. So price is the starting point, but you do have customers here that are willing to pay more for the service that the brokers provide, which is great. So now this is data in the last 6 months, and I'm going to show you data, and Craig's going to humanize it for me a little bit. So this is, I'll tell you how we pulled this data. Out of the people that come through our brands, and at the end of that process, they can go off to a direct, or they can go off to a broker. We let the consumer choose. So this is how that group looks that determine that they end up with a broker channel. So not dissimilar from the survey data, mostly male. Average age is 36, so you see them more in the lower age bracket there. Average years continuously insured, sitting at 5.7. So a little bit of experience. Data, take it with a grain of salt. This is our data, so this is how people heard about us. But I thought it might be helpful from the perspective of if they heard about us this way, but they resonate with the broker market, maybe this is where you need to spend your time. You've heard it today already. Search engines. Family and friends, which is actually not common, which is very common for the broker market as well to have this number be quite high.